In recognition of Deputy Chief Louis Gentile during Italian American Heritage Month. Whereas Deputy Chief Louis Gentile, proud son of Italian immigrants, has deep roots in Passaic that trace back to the early 1900s. He was born and raised in the city alongside his sister, Grace Boehner, who dedicated her life to teaching in the Passaic School District. And whereas growing up in Passaic, he attended the city's public schools and participated in local youth sports camps and recreational programs, which laid the foundation for his lifelong commitment to the community. In January of 1995, Deputy Chief Gentile began his distinguished career in law enforcement with the City of Passaic, amassing 30 years of experience, 20 of which were in leadership roles. And whereas Deputy Chief Gentile has consistently demonstrated unwavering dedication to the residents of Passaic by working closely with city government, business owners, and community organizations to foster collaboration, address concerns, and uphold public safety. As a proud supporter of local events and initiatives, his commitment to public service reflects the values of Italian American pride, always striving to contribute meaningfully to the community he grew up in. And whereas his academic achievements include a Master's of Administrative Science from Fairleigh Dickinson University, a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Seton Hall University, and certifications in public management and leadership, Deputy Chief Gentile also earned a certified public manager's certificate from Rutgers University and is certified as a police instructor by the New Jersey Department of Law and Public Safety. And whereas Deputy Chief Gentile has been recognized for his dedication with multiple awards, including the Bobby Thomas Community Service Award, the J.R. Russo Humanitarian Award, the Legacy Award for the city's 150th anniversary, and several congressional recognitions. And whereas in addition to his law enforcement career, he has contributed to education as an adjunct professor at the Passaic County Community College and as an instructor for law enforcement trainees and school staff, and helped implement dual enrollment criminal justice courses for Passaic high school students. And whereas Deputy Chief Gentile is a devoted husband to Arabella Gentile, a former teacher in Passaic, and a proud father to Louis James Gentile, who is attending Clemson University, and Savannah Ellen Gentile, who is here right now. I think she's here. Is she here? Let's give her a round of applause, because she loves when I put her on the spot. She always expresses to her, thank you. Thank the mayor for putting me on the spot. She doesn't use those exact words. Right? His deep faith is reflected in his active involvement in his parish, where he serves as a faith formation teacher and was awarded the St. Peter's Canisius Catechol Service Award from the Patterson Diocese. And whereas in recognition of his dedicated service and his outstanding contributions to the City of Passaic, it is fitting to recognize Deputy Chief Louis Gentile during this Italian American Heritage Month. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that I, Mayor of the City of Passaic, Hector Lora, along with the Council and our Commissioner of the Board of Education, Mary Ann Capersi, and all of Unico, do hereby honor Deputy Chief Louis Gentile during Italian American Heritage Month for his decades of service to the City of Passaic, his leadership in law enforcement, his commitment to education and the community, his engagement and his embodiment of the values of Italian American heritage. All of this honor despite being a big pain to Veronica Rodriguez in his Veronica, did you write that in there? Veronica works as an assistant in the chief's office, so we had that line. I don't think she heard it. Deputy Chief Gentile, please come in. Thank you very much. Come on up.
Italian heritage begins with God. Psalms 86:12. I give thanks to you, O Lord my God. With my whole heart, I will glorify your name forever. I want to thank Mayor Lora. Your ongoing support is much appreciated. Your leadership gives a pathway for community outreach and assistance. I could not be a community figure without your vision and your approach, Mayor. When I told the mayor, when he mentioned to me about this award, I said, well, my last name is pronounced Gentile. Mayor looked at me and he goes, stop. No one's ever called you that. Stop. His exact words. But yeah, Gentile, then went to Gentile, and then when you're many generations down the road, it turns into Gentile. The mayor also told me, hey, look, I'm going to give you half a certificate because you're not all Italian, right? So I just want to make sure I'm not going to go out and get a DNA test, because if it's less than half, he may take 3/4 of the certificate away. So it's an honor to be thought of at the same time as Paul Digaetano. Paul Digaetano was a household name for me growing up. I want to thank our police that are here, Captain Castellan, Captain Rivera, Captain Guzman. This police department does not run without that backbone of our staff, and it comes from the captains. That's where it starts. Thank you for coming out and showing support. For the officers that are here, the community is not safe without you, what you do in the community. So thank you for being out here. Greg Tenderenda, Jonice, I see Du back here, always giving me a lot of support through my career, and I appreciate it. Harry Gill, we started from the application process together. Where are you, Harry? Rode to the police academy together every day, worked on the streets and protected out and looked out for each other every day. All love, much appreciated. Of course, my daughter was mentioned, Savannah, she's here. My son, he's not here today, he's out in college. And my wife, she should be on her way, but she's not Italian, she's another culture, and sometimes that culture's a little late. Sometimes. I'm just saying. So what gets instilled with you from an Italian upbringing? Importance of family, being selfless, expressing love, not being perfect in love, but expressing love and loving deeply. You have to hustle in life. You have to make moves. Even if you fail, fall forward and keep making moves. Taking care of one another. Make sure other people are okay, not just yourself. Spiritually, God is greater than I. God is of most importance. Loud is okay. Expressions of how you feel is okay. Yelling, maybe even swearing at each other is just banter, and that's okay. That's what I've learned from my Italian culture. Quiet, not so good. Lack of expression, not so good. Not sharing your true self, very bad. Including my family, many Italians came to America for something better. Italians were not glorified in America. The derogatory word for Italians was Guinea. My dad often used to say, and I won't say the word, but it starts with the word F, he'd say, F the Guinea. I know, F the Guinea, right? I understand that. Because the meaning, Guinea gets the short end of the stick. So it wasn't always just given to Italians. It was hard work to overcome stereotypes and shortcomings. Some family history. My great-grandfather came from Milan. My great-grandmother came from Naples. What's in a name? My grandfather's name is Louis. Father's name is Louis. My name is Louis. Guess what my son's name is? Louis, right? Here you go. I'm very happy this summer my son got to go out to Italy. He visited Milan, Florence, and many other cities. My Thanksgivings are spent with the Italian side of my family. All I can say is the day starts with pasta, there's some wine, there's a lot of love, and there's a lot of talk. I learned a lot from that side of my family. My friend Freddie's here, like a brother to me. Freddie recently lost his father, Roger. Roger meant a lot to me and taught me a lot in life. Roger was acknowledged here by the mayor at one of the flag raisings. Freddie and I share a deep bond of Italian fathers. The loud personalities, a little extreme in nature, is that safe to say? Tough as nails. The depths of love though, the abundance of being there for other people and putting others above oneself. They taught us very much about life and how to approach people. Our fathers were very, very real. What you saw is what you got. I remember speaking to Freddie a few years ago, and we're both kind of struggling to understand how people could be so deceiving. I shared with Freddie, it's so hard for us because we were raised by fathers that poured out exactly who you were. They wore themselves on their sleeves. Sue, all that I just expressed about Italians you are. You have always given me love, support, unconditionally. You did this because you love my mother. And like all Italians, when you love, you will protect and love no matter what. People in the city are very aware. They're going to say something about Gentile. Don't say it around Suey. Rossi. See Rossi here? There he is, Rossi. You knew my pops, you knew my mom, you knew my grandmother. You have tons of history with Sue and many other Italian people in Passaic. The story goes, Sue and my mom had a lot to do with Vinny even getting into politics. The thing with your father was he remembered that. Like an Italian, he always looked out for people that looked out for him. Your dad was an influence in my life. I still remember, no matter how high he rose, he'd go in the backyard, pick his figs from the fig tree, and hand walk them over to my family. I always remember that. Last words I'll say from Frank Sinatra. What is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he is not. To say the things he truly feels and not the words of one who kneels. That means a lot for Italians. Final words, God, family, protective, love, hustle, selfless. That's what I learned from my Italian culture. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Deputy Chief Gentile. So much of the success of our city over the years have been a direct result of his dedication. He's often the last to leave in the city, whether it's been 2 o'clock in the morning, Saturdays, Sundays, parades, responding, picking up the phone, helping the community at different events, supporting every single group. Deputy Chief Gentile, you're a true example of what a leader is. You have been one of my closest friends and someone who I care deeply about. Thank you for all that you do in our city and how you represent culture, community, and law enforcement. Thank you so very much.